Cage Nation TV is brought to you by 1059 Quick Rock, streaming live right now at 1059QWIKRock.com.
Let's go. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. No one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors, no one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cage Nation TV, we are here. Gladiators of the Cage's North Shore's Rise to Power 7 is wrapping up, and Rob, I think we can agree, an immense fight card. It was solid from top to bottom.
I was just speaking with Robert Joseph, and I was letting him know that, okay, they had their main event pull out.
Yeah.
Well, Dom didn't pull out. There was a weight issue.
Right.
And so on and so forth. And I was saying to Rob, hey, you would think that with that, it might take some of the thunder away from the show.
Right.
And here you go. You still have a great show and a great hour.
I'm so glad you said that. Speaking of the man himself, Mr. Robert Joseph, Gladiators of the Cage CEO. Whenever you think of Gladiators of the Cage MMA, I want you to think of Robert Joseph. Doing great, Robert.
Thank you guys for coming.
Whenever you think of Gladiators of the Cage, I want you to think of this man as the Dana White of Gladiators of the Cage. He's the CEO, the man in charge.
I am going ballroom.
He swears less.
He swears less. Yeah. He might be getting further in life if he swore a little bit more, but he's a nice guy, wears his heart on his sleeve. So certainly, Robert, I want to thank you very much for having us out here and everything. An incredible fight card it is. We're about to get into it down, but we were just talking about how the main event pulled out, and even though the main event completely dropped out from the bottom, it was still a solid fight card from top to bottom.
As good as it gets.
As
good as it gets.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as a fight card being able to recover from a catastrophic main event, Gladiators of the Cage did it, and that was a huge ordeal.
You know, Scott Benton and myself, we worked hours and hours and hours putting this card together, and we wanted to have that 3 female fight, 3 fights, and then we had a strong pro fight. So, card, it turned out well. We're happy with it. You know, and it was a catastrophic loss.
Yeah.
But I think it went well. I'm gonna let you guys get back to business. I gotta go pay fighters. All right, let's take care, guys.
So we start off with the amateur card. Kicked off with Mad Factory female Melissa Gasick. She took on Sarah Click. And unfortunately, that fight ended by disqualification in the
third round.
Yeah, in the third round.
It was in the third round, and what happened was Melissa caught a head kick.
Yeah.
And it was on her, hit her on the left side. And it looked like it was thrown like, oh, I'm going to throw this kick.
Yeah.
And it hit. It connected. Had it not been a problem, it would have been a point deduction or a warning.
I have 2 theories on that kick. One, it was either targeted for the shoulder and it slipped.
No. Come on. I kick people in training. I've never gone, I'm going to kick someone in the shoulder.
Okay.
If you're kicking, you think, I'm going to kick them over here, or I'm going to kick them here.
My second theory is
in the neck.
Sarah Click is a Muay Thai trained fighter, and I think instinct took over.
Yeah, I would just think that, maybe in practice she throws head kicks. And that's what happened. And it hit, and they had the doctor look at Melissa.
Yeah. There was some fear that the jaw was broken.
There was something along the lines of that. I was right there and I couldn't hear the conversation. So this is all speculation.
Of course.
But in the third round, when she cannot continue, she wins by disqualification. And no one wants to win that way.
No.
She was almost in tears over it. I could see that. She wanted to fight.
Melissa didn't want to win that way. Sarah didn't want to lose that way. I mean, it's...
No one's happy in those situations.
No, I mean, I've seen some of the biggest a-holes in all of MMA lose by disqualification by a head kick. And, I mean, even that guy didn't want to throw that kick. So...
Didn't Arlovsky get DQ'd on a head kick of a ground opponent? It was in one of those, like a 1FC or something like that, where they allow kicking the head, but it's only under certain rules. We'll have to look that up and find out who it is, because I remember you're allowed to kick them in the head if the ref says it's okay or something. It was something real messed up.
If I'm not mistaken, they're basing it off old Pride rules.
Kinda. It's like
it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
In Pride, you could kick to the head unless there was a weight differential that was so big, the lighter opponent could choose not to get kicked in the head.
It's not that though.
Okay.
This is like, oh, hey, he's on the ground. Hey, ref, can I kick him in the face? Yeah, go ahead. bam.
Second fight of the night, we had David Shim winning by split decision over Jeremy Sakuda.
That's a very controversial one.
Extremely controversial. Now, I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, I will agree with judges, I will agree with officials, I will agree with executive directors. This is not one of those times.
Well, okay. Now, what we have to be careful of before we really say.
Before we go damning anybody, we need to.
Yeah. Okay.
I had one perspective.
Well, here's what needs to be done first. I would like to re-watch the fight before I go, hey, I truly believe it's this way or this way.
Right.
And the reason for that is the third round was very one-sided.
Yeah.
And that's what sticks in your head. So when you go wherever he's going with the thing, bring that back here. When you see that third round, and you go, oh my, he just lost the fight? How? He was winning so definitively.
Right.
That first round was close. You know,
one of the judges agreed with us, though. There was a 30-27 score from one of the judges.
Yeah.
So someone saw it my way. And not saying my way was the right way. From where I was sitting, Jeremy Sakuda had control of the strikes. David Shim was a good counter striker. Fantastic counter striker. However, I don't think he counter-struck his way to a victory.
Pat and I had the pleasure of seeing Shim out in Ohio.
Yeah.
This is before Pat went to work with the Athletic
Commission. For the Roxino event.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we seen him, and exciting fighter and all that. No disrespect meant, but I don't know that the decision went the way that it should have. But before I can definitively say, hey, I disagree. I want to see the footage.
Jim Andre said the same thing you did, and in the heat of a great event just happened, I have to think that maybe David Shim did not win that. However, I will concede that yes, you're probably going about it the best way. Let's watch the recap. Right now, I don't agree with it, but the officials did, and the officials have the final say over that. David Shim winning by split decision over Jeremy Sakuda. Now, Cody here and John Rurick went the third fight. Here won by unanimous decision. I agree with that one.
Yeah, and that was a case. You have Rurick, athletic striker.
Absolutely. He's cut.
Here,
he had a good gas tank.
Here wants nothing to do with the striking. He wants to grapple. He's like me. He doesn't want hit. He wants to do some grappling.
All of my pedigree in combat sports was very, very little amounts of grappling. So I did a year of wrestling in high school. I spent some time doing some jiu-jitsu. I can tell you that I do not enjoy getting punched in the face whatsoever. So with that pedigree, if I'm about to get hit in the face, I'm going to take someone down. And that was Cody Here's plan, and Cody Here executed very well. John Rurick did his best to post, to posture out, stuff the head. Unfortunately, Cody Here, not unfortunately, very fortunate for Cody Here.
Fortunately for Cody, unfortunate for Mr. Rurick.
Correct. Cody Here had a plan.
Yes.
He went out and he executed it, and that was the day.
Yeah, he got a 3-round decision. There's no argument there. So we had a decision before that. There were some folks questioning, and then you have Cody's decision. It's very cut and dry. 3 rounds. I beat you each round.
Exactly.
How do you like me now?
Tony DiPietro and Corey Vale. Corey Vale won by first round guillotine choke, 1 minute, 1 second into the fight. Corey, the Super Saiyan Vale. Now, here's the thing that really impressed me about Corey Vale in that submission. I was on the opposite side of the cage where it happened. That submission was so slick, I had no idea it happened. What it looked like to me from where I was at was they were scrambling, there was a grapple, and then Chip stopped the fight.
Yeah, and it was quick too.
Yeah.
And when you have a good tight submission, a person knows, like, hey, I can fight out of this because my spirit says I can go on.
Yeah.
There's other times where you're like, well, it's either this or I'm gonna go to bed.
Right, but DiPietro wasn't completely outclassed. It's just that Vale had a great game plan. I mean, Vale controlled the strikes.
And when's the best time to catch a submission like that? When they're dry.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they warmed up. I'm sure there's a little bit of sweat on them. But you get them in the third round when they've been sweating, beating the hell out of each other for a couple rounds.
Well, it's physics and friction. I mean, it's easier to pull. It's easier to pull off a submission when you have friction on your side,
yes,
as opposed to sweat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dino Uclo won over Raleigh Abbott, 46 seconds in round 2.
Rock and Raleigh.
The Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Raleigh the Rabbit Abbott.
Oh, we saw him out in Ohio too.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we seen him out in Ohio.
I called a fight for Dino Uclo in Greensburg when he fought for the World Cage Fighting Championship. So I was really excited to see Dino come back. Dino's unique physiology is he's very, very tall. He's tall, he's got long, slender limbs, and he's a Henzo Gracie trained affiliate.
Yeah.
So what you're expecting right away is
A grappler.
the same problem that most people have with Corey Hill. Corey Hill is tall, long limbs. He's physically able to pull off submissions that other people cannot, or at least not as slick. And but Dino Uklo didn't have to rely on that. The first round, Dino did a great job using his reach to keep Abbott at bay, control the round. But then, getting the second round, Uklo was able to take him out and ground and pound it out.
And he actually he won by submission due to strikes.
It was a tap out due to strikes.
Yes, yeah. I can't pronounce his last name. Uklo.
Yeah, Uklo.
Uklo. I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
You corrected me.
I said no. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Uklo's on top. He's pounding, and Raleigh he tapped to the strikes.
Yeah.
So it's not a TKO. It's
a tap out
submission to strikes. Yeah.
Here's the problem with Dino Uklo having such long limbs for Abbott is it's all about reach. You can try to swing back, but he's got the reach and he's able to posture.
It's like Sam Squatch here. Sam Squatch has like John Jones reach.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam Squatch hooked us up with some great seats tonight here at Gladiators the Cage. Thank you very much, Sam. He's I'm Johnny Monk's man, literally, because he's
6'6".
He's so damn tall.
He's 6'6", and we checked it out. His pinky's as big as my thumb.
Oh, jeez.
Or bigger than my thumb. I'm sorry.
In the amateur main event, we had Genocide Baldwin taking on Jamie Driver in a fight that a lot of people don't agree with, and I'm surprised. I actually did agree with the judges on this one. Baldwin won the amateur featherweight women's title by split decision, by split decision. And here's why I'll tell you why I agree with that. Every time Driver tried to take her down, Baldwin was able to do the sweep. If I were Baldwin's camp, I'd maybe work on striking a little bit, maybe get a smoother posture, because her shoulders were up, which is good for protecting the chin, but it's only going to get you so far. You are limiting the range of the motion of your strikes. But every time Baldwin was taken down, she swept, recovered, escaped, and she ended the second round in a very, very tight knee bar, which could have ended the fight right then and there and caused
Well, here's the
ligament
thing,
damage.
though. Okay, you have that knee bar.
Yeah.
If the opponent's not tapping to the knee bar, it's a position.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
But it's a strong position to end the round in.
The judge doesn't. The judge can't look at it like, because it's fully extended.
Right.
If it's fully extended and the person's not tapping, it's not applied properly.
Okay.
And when the person has that leg out extended and just wailing on that side, who do you give that round to? Do you give it to the 30 strikes that were landed to the ribs of the person knee barring you, or do you give it to the person that's getting knee barred?
Honestly, from where I was sitting, I would give that round to Baldwin based on that knee bar because I thought it looked.
I disagree.
And that's fine. You're the submission guy. You know the ligament damage
I'm
better.
I'm a judo guy.
Okay, but still, submissions better than I do. I thought that Baldwin ended that round in a dominant position with that knee bar.
If
Because from
she
where
would've-
I sat, it
if
looked
there
like
would
it
have been
was.
some knee pinching,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more hip pushing,
Okay.
a little bit more isolation. It's a fulcrum.
Yeah. Her pelvis would have been used as
She was in danger for damn sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I disagree. I think the person getting knee barred, if they're not tapping and their leg's not in any danger and they're able to wail on you, I think the person doing the wailing.
Driver was able to rotate her leg and get to the knee where it could have been.
And I'm not saying I disagree with the decision.
Right.
I'm disagreeing with your statement
And
of
that's,
that.
and that's fine. And then that's what makes great for great discussion. Is that
I
we
agree
have two
with the
different
decision.
points. Oh yes, I agree with the position. The striking was a little awkward, but consistently she was taken down.
Yes.
She reversed,
Yeah,
and she ended up
I agree,
dominant.
absolutely.
And so.
And a well-deserved title fight. And an
Absolutely.
exciting one too. Everyone liked what
Oh
they
yeah.
saw.
Well, for good reason.
It was a good fight.
Consistently, women in Pennsylvania have put on great fights, whether it be amateur or pro, and they're doing a lot of great good for women's MMA in general. Baldwin came out to Ronda Rousey's music. It was kind of like an homage, but at the same time, he's saying like I'm doing my own thing, and women's fighting in MMA is doing great. And I'm glad the novelty of oh my God, girls are fighting has worn off because women are fantastic athletes, especially in the Pittsburgh area.
It hasn't worn off on me. No, I'll tell you why it hasn't worn off on me.
Why is that?
You have these women finally being able to showcase that, hey, we are athletes too.
Yeah.
We belong.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, and
that's-
that novelty isn't going to wear off on me because I think it's a great thing.
No,
I get what you mean. I'm
Yeah.
just arguing with you because that's what makes this work.
Exactly.
I'm an a-hole. you're slightly less of an a-hole, and we argue about it.
This coverage of Gladiators Cage North Shore's Rise to Power 7 has been brought to you by 1059 Quick Rock. They're streaming online right now at 1059 QWIK Rock. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to break down the pro card. All right, welcome back to Cage Nation TV. We're going to get ready to break down the pro card of Gladiators Cage North Shore's Rise to Power 7 again.
The cage that used to be there.
There were Gladiators, there was a cage, but now we're just Stage A where great concerts happen. Again, the pro card started to melt down whenever Dominic the Honey Badger Masada and Anthony Jones was canceled because Anthony Jones came in extremely overweight. The consensus that I've talked to a lot of people agree that it's extremely unprofessional to come in overweight, period, but 8 pounds overweight is just almost insulting.
And the difference is, this isn't like a tournament that you would sign up for, and if you miss weight, they just put you in the next bracket.
Right.
This is a tournament that if you don't sign up to your contracted weight, you do not get paid. You do not make money.
Right.
You know?
Okay, one, it was a title fight. Two, you knew way in advance that you were going to need to fight at 135. And three, a lot of folks, you got put in the main event for a reason, and I feel like there was a professional obligation to come prepared to fight in that main event for a title.
Well, think about Dom.
Yeah.
Dom put time in the training. He took time away from family, friends, school, work, whatever it is he does.
We talked to Dom on Thursday about his title fight. I mean, he was cutting weight on Thursday, and it's now Saturday.
He made sacrifices to fight here tonight, and he did not get to fight.
Absolutely. So
that's the only side I need to look at it.
I can agree with that completely. The pro card opened up with Kyle Dunmeyer, who has fought where we're from, the Altoona area, and I thought he did very, very well in the Altoona area, but he fought the Bionic Fist of Justice, Mr. Dan Kakuta.
And that knee,
well,
I felt it. I didn't get to see it like completely because Chip Snyder is like right here, and I'm thinking, come on, Chip, that one. But he's there for the fighter's safety, not for my convenience,
Exactly.
And that knee, that was...
Well, ever since Dan Kakuta's been fighting for Gladiators Cage, he's been as an amateur. And he's a very, very strict Muay Thai fighter. He's very, very good at it. He's very dynamic. But fighting under amateur rules, you really have a handicap as a Muay Thai fighter because your elbows, your knees, strikes to the head are gone. Well, now as a pro fighter, he's got...
The counter argument to that is mixed martial arts.
Right. But, in mixed martial arts in a sense is, as a pro, he's able to bring those weapons to him. Now he's got knees and elbows and stuff. And here's what really impressed me about Dan Kakuta's knees. He didn't just... They're doing stuff.
What's that? What do they call that?
River dance? Dan Kakuta didn't just fire a knee straight. He actually put the pendulum behind it.
Yeah.
So he swung it, and that put that little extra,
You want me to show you?
No, I do not. So Kyle Dunmeyer was a valiant fight. I mean, he had to have gone in there planning on taking him down. Unfortunately, he just ate a Dan Kakuta knee in 22nd seconds of the fight.
27 seconds.
I have 26. We'll agree to disagree. Okay. I'm told you're right, Rob. I will concede it was 27 seconds. Jessica Zomchik, the zombie, took on Stacy Segala in our pro women's fight. And 116 in round one, Jessica Zomchik pulled off a very slick armbar. Stacy Segala, they called her the Mad Dog. She went in, she was much shorter than Zomchik.
You wait until you see this photo shot of her. She comes into the cage and she's just there. She's staring inside. Oh, you wait.
No, I mean, she looked ready.
No, my photo.
Oh, no, I'm excited to see that.
It's real good.
But I mean, just being from where, she came in there, she's stomping, she came in with fire into her.
Yeah. And to get armbarred like that, and that fire got put out pretty quick. I seen her hold her elbow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the joint capsule got hyperextended or, if it popped. She's not happy.
I asked Segala's corner, is she okay? They're like, yeah, she's going to get checked out by the doctor. But Segala knew she was coming in against a taller, lankier opponent, and she wasn't going to outstrike her. She needed to come inside of the reach and then, do her work there. Well, Zomchik had about enough of that and pulled guard. And Zomchik
had a cold, and she said that she was winded already.
Zomchik pulled guard, And when she pulled guard, she had Segala's arm was on her shoulder. She brought the arm around to hyperextend, and then she was able to change position and pull off a really, really slick arm bar.
And that shows you someone that has some grappling experience.
Oh yeah.
Training to be able to recognize, bang, bang, bang. You know.
Almost like chain wrestling.
Like
chain submit.
When you train and you flow in class, you know, things can maybe get a little bit sloppy, or things go perfect because it's like, oh, we're just drilling. You know, here it is. But when you have a live opponent giving you resistance, forceful resistance, and you're able to go just like school, position, submission. Wonderful. It was tight. That was tapped.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it was a good lock flow. Like she knew, okay, I don't have it here. I can somewhere with hips around. It was fantastic. Francis the Mad Dog Healy, the second Mad Dog fighting for the night. He submitted Manny Milan by rear naked choke in 1 minute 19 seconds of the second round. I'm told that Francis Healy is training more on strikes, and it shows. When we saw Francis Healy fight before, he was relying on a lot of great wrestling. It was great wrestling, but this fight he came in with a whole new dynamic to his game, and he really improved his strikes.
Yeah, I was impressed to see that he was continuing to go for that submission.
Yeah.
He's seen that I'm this close. In round 1, he almost had it.
Yeah.
He's torquing his neck. He wasn't under the chin, and he started turning it into the neck crank.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you get that put on you enough, someone comes across there with that wrist bone across your jaw, they have your head turned and they're squeezing, you feel like your head's gonna pop off. You know,
a couple things could happen. I mean, you could certainly do some major strain to the neck, but you could also end up having a broken jaw as well.
I would have tapped to the first one before the second round.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, kudos to him because he's like, all right, I see I was almost ready for the submission. I'm going to go for it again, you know, and there it was.
Well, how many fights have you seen that fighters go over the game plan, it's not working the way they like right away, so they'll abandon something else and completely wasted 2 or 3 rounds on a wasted strategy?
Absolutely.
Francis Healy did not do that. He had a plan in there. He went in there. But Manny Milan also had a strategy to know that, hey, Francis Healy's going to come in. He's been working on strikes. He's a good player. And, I mean, he tried to counter-grapple. It's just that Francis Healy was the much better fighter than him. Okay, so main event, we got to talk about Dominic Mazzata versus Anthony Jones. Did not happen.
Wilkins electric.
Well, Mike Wilkins was promoted to main event. He took on Chris Coggins, and in 2 minutes and 10 seconds of round 1, Mike Wilkins won by TKO.
Did you hear when he started throwing
his hammer fist?
Holy shit! He's pounding on him. I'm thinking, damn, you're gonna kill the guy. You know? No, in all seriousness, I've liked Mike Wilkins for a long time. Okay?
Since complete devastation.
Since I had him on a card.
Right, because you were matchmaker.
Correct.
Okay.
And he gave a shout out to Wilkins Electric.
Yeah.
And ever since, every time I see him, it doesn't matter, you know, I don't know, I could see him at the hospital celebrating the birth of someone. I'd be like, Wilkins Electric, here you are, you know. Nice guy.
Oh, incredibly nice guy.
Very, very good grappler.
Yeah. But he's another one who has completely added a new dimension to his game.
You have to.
Well, it's mixed martial arts. It's not ultimate fighting anymore. You
can fight a smaller regional show that is an upstart, and you can be completely one-sided.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not saying this is his situation.
Correct.
I'm saying in modern day mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Okay, you can find where you can be completely one-dimensional, and it'll work.
Yeah.
You get into a bigger show. You get into a bigger promotion like this one.
Yeah.
You can't be a one-dimensional fighter anymore.
Especially not in a main event.
Because the people are that good. And here's why. It's not the state of people being bad or people being good. It's the state of, here we have everyone training mixed martial arts.
Yep.
It used to be, oh, I'm a wrestler, I hit some pads, now I'm fighting.
Right.
Or it was, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, I've done some boxing, I'm ready to go. No, now we have people that they don't go in, they're not training, oh, I'm training judo today, I'm training this today. They're training in mixed martial arts classes, along with their other disciplines.
Right, I mean, there's supplementary lessons and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
But there is a core discipline of mixed martial arts.
Yes, and Mike, he has good hands.
Yep.
I think he keeps him down sometimes. I don't like that, but he can take a shot, and he's quick with his hands. And his grappling, obviously, I wouldn't want to be caught with him. No. I wouldn't want to be caught in his guard.
No, and that's one of the typical traits of a Henzo Gracie Pittsburgh guy is they have great guards. Same thing with Dino Euclio. But I think we need to say about Chris Coggins is Chris Coggins had really good footwork.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by his footwork, his head work. But then there was a point where him and Wilkins got tied up in like almost like a collar and elbow tie, and Wilkins was just unleashing these uppercuts through his own armpit into Coggins' armpit. I mean, they were brutal. Where Jim and I were sitting, we could see that collar and elbow tie and where those
you could hear them.
Oh, they were brutal.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal. So
Coggins has a headache right now.
Oh, he has to.
And I could see that when they hit the ground, when Wilkins is on top and he's pounding, I could see Chip was going to give Coggins more time.
Yeah.
And then when Mike postured up and he let them down, you heard it was like a drum.
It was bad.
I would have tapped.
But
I would have tapped before though.
Another thing too, like just the idea of being in a main event can really add a lot of pressure to a guy. And I think big pat on the back to Chris Coggins and Mike Wilkins for
they stepped up to main event status.
I mean, they could have pulled that. They could have been like, oh hey, I'm in the main event now, pay me. But they didn't. Like they were warriors about it.
Yeah, and you know what Wilkins gets out of the deal?
What's that?
What was he rewarded with?
Oh, well, Mike Wilkins got a 155-pound title shot.
In March.
In March.
For the title.
And he's coming back to Pittsburgh. He's fighting for the lightweight title here in Stage AE.
Wilkins Electric fighting for the title.
Wilkins Electric fighting for the title. But I mean, you saw the reaction that Mike Wilkins got when he came down to the fight. That is just Gladiators of the Cage knowing this is going to be a great main event. We need to get a title on this kid.
Yeah.
And that is
well,
a
here's
solid
the other
matchmaking.
thing too. Okay, this is his third fight with Gladiators in Cage.
Yeah.
They keep bringing him back. People come to see him.
Mm-hmm.
He's popular around here. He's fighting in his backyard.
Extremely.
Yeah, exactly. You have a guy fighting in his backyard. People don't have to drive far to go see him. So he's going to pack a house every time.
Well, he packed the house, and he came to Altoona with a lot of folks, too.
Yes.
He did. Like, his fans are willing to drive, but this is like another one where it was
when
like...
you don't have to, why not?
I think it's going to be another one like Mazada and Garbrandt where people came to see local boys.
Yes.
And I really believe that Mike Wilkins is going to draw.
Well, and let's talk about Gladiators building up their local guys. This is a venue that they bring everyone in.
Yep.
But especially their local guys can grow here. And that's a very, very good attribute for the local MMA schools around here.
Yep.
Because they can fight on quality shows.
Yeah.
Close to home.
Well, I mean, this venue as in itself is incredible. Like, we couldn't hope for a venue like this in mixed martial arts back then. We just couldn't.
It's not the Johnstown Votech that they have competed in years ago.
But at the same time, though, like, this was a transition card. Sure, it booked a big name main event, but that fell through. But the matchmaking of that card was so solid that it was able to survive.
We got Pavarotti over there.
It was able to survive without it. And this is one of those cards that's a transition card. We're getting introduced to new guys who are going to be impressing us in future cards.
I agree.
Dan Kakuta turning pro.
That's a great thing.
Oh, he's got 4 new weapons. I'm talking about 2 knees and 2 elbows that are just going to create for a real bad day for anyone who gets caught tonight. But I think all the fighters came to fight. No one was timid. There was no doubt. There was no fear. I mean, this was a solid quality fight card, and this is why we watch MMA.
I watch MMA because I don't like football.
I hate football too.
I don't hate it. I just don't like it.
No, I hate football. All right, but anyway, I'm Albert Cameron. This is Rob Lynn. Our coverage of North Shore's Rise to Power 7, again, brought to you by 1059 Quick Rock, streaming online right now at 1059QWIKRock.com. We will see you guys regular programming next. I said probing. Did you hear that? I said probing. That was weird.
Do you need to do that again?
No, I'm leaving it in. We're returning to regular programming next week from our new studio. For Rob Lynn, I'm Albert Cameron. This has been Gladiators of the Cage, North Shore's Rise to Power 7. See you guys next week.
That's this many.
Let's go. Ah.